we all went on a treadmill. I thought it all went down the same hill. I didn't know things could come to a standstill.
That was Standstill by Dutch artist Tessa Douwstra, recording under the name Luwten. She channels traditional indie songwriting through a kaleidoscope of modern pop and R&B experimentation, creating intricately tailored and beautiful tracks. Now, after a self-titled album in 2017, she's recently released her second LP. It's called Draft, and she joins me in the studio to tell me more about it. Tessa, it's such a treat to have you with us here on France 24. Congratulations on your new album. So it's called Draft, but it's certainly not a draft in the sense of a work in progress. It features 11 tracks, very complex, well-crafted tracks. So the word draft can refer to a rough draft. It can also be kind of a gust of wind. What does the title mean to you?
Well, when I was writing the songs, I always pay attention to what words I come across. So I first make the music, and then afterwards I go see what the music tells me about the last period of time. And when I looked at the songs, I saw that word draft came back 2 times, and it was always in combination with a door and it going slightly open and then have the outside air coming in. So I thought that would be a nice way to describe like opening up to the outside world and having and looking for more connections, but also draft being the rough draft that it can be. Also about the fluidity of identity, I think, and just being a more fluid human being instead of like pinning down, this is me and this is who I'm going to be forever.
So a lot of movement in,
a lot of movement
in the title.
Definitely.
You perform under the moniker Luwten, which in Dutch means a place without wind. So this word wind comes up again.
Yeah.
It's kind of a void. Why did you choose that as the name you wanted to perform under?
Douwstra and my own name just has a really like not really fresh vibe to it. So I thought I need a different name to work under, and I just had this list with potential names for the project. And since I really love working in some sort of vacuum, and that's where the whole project started, I figured I'd call it Luwten.
It's a beautiful name, Luwten. And we're going to listen to another track off your album. It's called Control. Take a listen.
A storm over, who is a nerve, is out of, is out of, is out of. Nothing I lose when I'm losing you there. Nothing I lose when
So that was the track Control off Dutch artist Luwten's latest album. The album is called Draft. Love that song, Control, kind of a club anthem there. You wrote that through the lens of someone who second guesses themselves a lot, who's questioning the benefits of losing control. Do you think it's important to lose control every now and then?
Yes, definitely.
In what sense?
Well, it's like when you think about midnight, for example, there's this space in which it isn't really important who you are or how you're going to present yourself. I really feel like it's a nightly theme as well. But it's just as soon as you don't think about who you are, you just are. And I think, in a sense, that's what losing control is about to me. And it feels kind of important to have that every once in a while, yeah.
It definitely is important to lose control every now and then. Now, what I love about your album is you combine electronic sounds, also live instrumentations, but also some field recordings, which bring a very intimate texture to your songs. What inspired you to do that?
I think I'm just really fascinated by sounds in the biggest sense. But I really like the intimacy of the field recording, or like a voice memo on your iPhone is really fascinating to me. So for example, I have this one song, the title song of the album called Draft, is a song that's built from voice memos of my parents and my friends, and they all sent me this particular note, but you can also hear the background noises and their hesitation. So there's always a lot of intimacy in those recordings.
Your music is very intimate, and what's interesting is if you listen to your first album from 2017, you really dwelled on introspection, introversion, embracing the comfort of your own solitude. You mentioned that this album Draft was also about opening up to the outside world, focusing more on an outwardly focused life. Does this reflect a personal journey on your part?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's really hard for me to not write about what I'm experiencing, since that's the really direct way of writing. Yeah.
And you talk about kind of this internal persona going outside, which is what a lot of us have experienced in the last year and a half, right? Because of COVID, we're very much in our own worlds, coming outside. Did this happen on purpose, or was it just a coincidence?
It was just a coincidence. It all happened before COVID, and then it was released during COVID. So I think it's just I think everyone will go through something like this every once in a while, and it's probably constantly changing as well, which is the whole point of the Draft thing. So yeah, it was just a perfect coincidence.
Perfect coincidence, but you maybe thought things ahead there,
Yeah.
a premonition of what was to come. Well, speaking about COVID, we're going to take a look at some other music news that are making headlines. The English living legend Elton John is releasing his 32nd studio album. It's called The Lockdown Sessions, and it was recorded during the last 18 months of the COVID-19 pandemic, after he had to pause his farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, due to the pandemic. Now, it's a collaborative album that features tracks with Stevie Wonder, Eddie Vedder, Lil Nas X, Nicki Minaj, Stevie Nicks, and this little gem, Cold Heart, with Dua Lipa. Take a listen. So that was the track Cold Heart off Elton John's new album called The Lockdown Series. Lockdown was a very strange time for all of us, productive for some, a moment of introspection for others. You started performing again after the lockdown. What did you miss the most about live performances?
I think there might be the concentration of having people in the same room doing the same thing. It's like almost a church-like experience, but I feel like the energy that you get when you put a lot of people in the same room doing the same thing, it's just really special. There's nothing like it.
It certainly is magical, and it's been wonderful to be able to go back to concerts now. And next, after a nearly 6-year hiatus, the 15-time Grammy winner British singer-songwriter Adele has dropped a new single. It's called Easy on Me. Now, this is just the beginning of her long-awaited return, as she'll be releasing a new album on November 19th. That album will be titled 30, in line with her previous LPs, 19, 21, and 25, for the ages Adele was while she was writing them. Here's the track, Easy on Me, which had over 70 million views on YouTube after just the first weekend. Take a listen.
I changed who I was to put you.
So that's Easy on Me off Adele's forthcoming album, 30. So her first album in 6 years. Sometimes artists just need to take a break from music. What would you do if you lost inspiration and had to find it somehow again?
Yeah, take a break, have new experiences, meet new people, go to different places. Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that in your?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, that's why I love traveling for music as well. It's just being away for a day in a completely different city or country just gives you memories for weeks, while having the same day all over again in your own house. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, good thing that you're here in Paris.
Yes,
Maybe you'll get some inspiration for future songs.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, finally, another artist has broken a long hiatus. This is the Belgian singer-songwriter Stromae. He's dropped a new single. It's called Santé, Health, his first release since 2013. It's a celebration of those who we don't celebrate enough. And we're going to leave you with that track. But before we go, I want to thank my guest, Luwten. Thank you so much for being with us here on France 24. Be sure to check out her new album. It's called Draft. For more arts and culture news, you can head to our website, stay in touch on social media, and please stay tuned to France 24. More news is coming up right after this.
3 heures que j'attends, franchement, il est fabrique ou quoi? Heureusement que c'est que de verre. Appelle-moi ton responsable et fais vite, elle pourrait se finir comme ça, ta carrière. Oui, célébrons ceux qui ne célèbrent pas. Encore une fois, j'aimerais lever mon verre à ceux qui n'en ont pas. À ceux qui n'en ont pas.